So where is Matthew Stafford going to play next season? Is Deebo Samuel about to be a Washington Commander? And the real question that all of you are wanting to weigh in on and find answers to is, do I need a haircut? That's really why I'm here tonight. Please tell me in the comments what you think. My wife's been bugging me, telling me I need to cut my hair. I grew up in California, so I'm kind of partial. I get these like California, man, what's the word? I have it in my core, my soul. Sometimes I want like longer hair. And anyway, let me know what you think, because my wife's ready for me to chop it off. What's up, everybody? Welcome in Seth Floyd Show. I'm your host, Seth Floyd Hansen. Guys, incredible as far as the subs have gone. If you're here right now for the first time, please go ahead and hit subscribe to the channel. What it does for me, it gives me an opportunity to work towards my long-term goals, which is to do this full-time to some degree, which would be incredible. And every time someone hits subscribe, it helps a ton. When I hit record tonight, just now, we were at 336 subscribers. My last video, I was talking to you guys, and I was like, we went down once. I was at like 309, and now we're at 336. Incredible. Thank you. If you've hit subscribe, thank you. And go ahead and like the video as well while you're doing it. There's been a couple things that came out today. Football-wise, that I think are worth talking about. My last video was a 49er video, but Giants video before that. I'm probably going to hit a Giants video this weekend. Again, there was a lot of positive response, so I'm probably going to do that tomorrow or Monday. So, stay tuned. But two things I want to talk about real quick. Matthew Stafford. There was a report on Yahoo Sports. Matthew Stafford was given permission from the team for him and his agent to explore his market. Now, everyone assumed, when you hear that, we all assume that they're talking about a trade. Like, what's the trade market? But it sounds like, because people have clarified more, I think it was if Tom Pelissero clarified it or whatever. People have been talking about it on Twitter, though, or on X, I should say, that this is not a trade. It's not exploring a trade. It's more about finding out what other teams would pay for Matthew Stafford and his contract. So what does that mean? What is going on? Okay, essentially what's going on is Matthew Stafford wants more money. Okay, I've heard a few people break it down, and I agree with them. Like Matthew Stafford is 37. He's got his one last rodeo. Not necessarily this year, but he's probably, what has he got? 2 years, maybe 3 if he's going to stretch it, but I would guess 2 years. As long as he doesn't have like an injury this year and he's just like, dude, I can't do this anymore. He's probably got 2 years left. He's trying to cash in on a payday. Now, I don't blame him. He's supposed to make like, I think it said $27 million, below $30 million this year. So he's not getting paid like a top 10 quarterback, though I think everyone would agree that he is a top 10 quarterback. But it's tough because, gosh, sorry to mess up. This sounds like an itch. It's tough because if you restructure his contract and you give him more money, it screws you up if you're the Rams. It screws you up. And here's the deal with Stafford. Like, he's great. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFC. He is streaky. Okay, he's not always his best. I think that's what's always kept him from being vaulted into like that tier 1 or like the half a tier down as like a top 5 guy consistently, because he's like led the league in interceptions before. I've watched a lot of Stafford games against the 49ers, and there's been some games where he just looks terrible. He looks terrible. And so what am I trying to say is that he's 37. I think you've definitely seen the best of Matthew Stafford. You're not getting a better version of Matthew Stafford. I think Rams fans, you would say that, right? And you want him back, and you should want him back because he's that good. But I get why the front office is very hesitant to do this. They don't want to pay him, commit guaranteed money to a guy that probably going to retire in 2 years or a year. And the truth is he's had a lot of injury history. Now, he's a warrior. He is as tough as nails. You guys have seen, if you've ever seen that video of him with the Lions, and anyway, there's this really cool video of him when he played for the Lions, gets hurt, and he grinds it out like he's wheezing, but he realizes they still have the ball, so he runs back out there even though he's like in a ton of pain. He is a warrior, but he gets banged up. He's never like 100%. He's always battling something. That's not going away. When you're 37, it's only downhill from here. So at any moment, it could just kind of come off the rails for him. I kind of think Matt Stafford is going to have, when it's time for him to be done, it's going to be like a Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger kind of situation. where it's just like, oh, he has dropped off dramatically. Okay, maybe some of that's probably wishful thinking. I'm a 49ers fan, but he's been so banged up. It just feels like at some point his body's going to give out on him more than it already has. So I say that to say as a just a logical, like I'm taking the Rams perspective. It makes sense that they don't want to time all this money up into him. And at the same time, I don't blame Matt Stafford. He's like, look, I'm still playing at a pretty high level. I'm definitely not being compensated for it. I brought a Super Bowl to Los Angeles, so pay me. I want to get paid. And that's the struggle back and forth. So it sounds like they can't come to an agreement. It sounds like the Rams have said, look, we don't want to trade you, but you go look and see what else is out there. Can you find anybody? What do you want to get paid? What are they willing to pay you? And this is a tactic. It could be hey, we told you so. That's what the Rams are hoping. We told you so. No one's paying you more because of your age and the situation. Or it is just they want to get fair value and they think this will push the contracts along. I'm not sure. I think he's going to end up back in Los Angeles, but there's been a lot of smoke that they could trade him, that there are teams that have been calling about trading him. The biggest have been the Giants. Colin Cowherd put out a thing that the Rams want the number 3 overall pick. Okay, well, if you're the Giants, please do not do that. As a 49er fan, please don't do that. As all you Giants fans, I know you're agreeing with me. Please do not trade away the 3rd overall pick for a 37-year-old Matthew Stafford. He would be a good fit in New York. I don't blame New York for that front office for wanting him. They are all on the hot seat over there, and they need to win, and we need to win now. And they don't have a quarterback, so I don't blame them. If they could work something out for Matt Stafford, a 2 and a 3 this year, or I would be, if I were the Giants, I'd be like, look, I'll give you my 2026 first-round pick, but I'm not giving you number 3. So I don't know. That's a team I've thought. I've heard that. I didn't come up with that. I heard that. A couple of the others would be like the Steelers. To me, would make sense. They have like the 21st pick. It sounds like the Rams. I'm bringing up first-round picks because it sounds like the Rams. Like that would be the starting point. That's what they gave up for him. I think Stafford is capable of winning another Super Bowl if the team is good enough around him, specifically the defense, which Pittsburgh has. Like if I were Pittsburgh, I would be like, man, we're in a division right now with the Bengals who have Joe Burrow, and the Ravens who have Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson. So like, what are we doing? We're not worried about the Browns, but like you're behind those. You finished. Listen, Steelers fans, you finished ahead of the Bengals. I'm not saying the Bengals are a better team than you, but what I am saying is they both have better quarterbacks than you, and if the Bengals can fix the defense, they will be a better team than you if you don't figure out the quarterback situation. That was not a slight to you. I understand you made the playoffs and they didn't, but whatever. Did you guys make the playoffs this year? You did, right? No, you didn't make the playoffs this year. Why am I blanking? Did they make the playoffs? No, you didn't make the playoffs because I'm like, yes, you did. And you, sorry, you guys were the 5 seed, right? And you lost.
Oh yeah.
To the Ravens. I apologize. That was a terrible brain fart for Steelers fans. No disrespect, okay? I'm not trying to disrespect you. I think if I get it, I don't know where if you're a Steelers fan here now, please like hop into the, I want to know. Like, let me know what you think as far as the, like, do you want Stafford and what the trade compensation would be? Now, you guys lost to the Ravens, right? I know you lost to the Ravens. You weren't the 5 seed. Whatever. You lost to the Ravens. I hope I'm right on that. Why am I having such a brain fart? I would give up the 21st pick for Stafford. I probably would because I'd be like, look, I can get 2 years out of him, and I feel good about my defense. And you got to gamble to like get where you want to go. At 21, you're not picking a quarterback. At 21, all of the guys that have a first-round grade on them are probably not there anyway, man. So, I don't know. It's risky, but if you can get 2 years of Matt Stafford and all of a sudden you feel like you got a shot at the title, like, I would do it. Anyway, there's a couple teams out there that I think it would make sense. But I don't think he's getting traded. And 49er fans, I don't know if you want him to get traded. Like, do you really want him to? Now, I say this. In 2025, yes, you do. In 2025, yes, you do. But here's one thing about the Rams is they've hit on draft picks lately. They've been really good. Their scouting department, Les Snead, has made some good picks. And the last thing I want is the Rams to pick up an extra first-round pick and then sign like Sam Darnold. And like, in no way is Sam Darnold as good as Matt Stafford, but man, Sam Darnold looked good last year for most of the season. And the Rams have Sean McVay. Like I would bet money that McVay can get out of Sam Darnold what Kevin O'Connell got out of Sam Darnold. So then they're like, gosh, they traded away Matt Stafford, got an extra first. Now they have Sam Darnold. They're basically as good as they were last year. Like, that's a nightmare scenario if you're a 49er fan, because the last thing you want them to do is continue to build through the draft. The best thing, honestly, I guess like if they traded away Stafford and then they didn't sign any big free agents and now Jimmy Garoppolo has to be their starting quarterback, like that would be a perfect scenario for the Niners. What I kind of hope that feels more realistic, I hope the Rams just cave, give him some money, hurt their cap a little bit. I hope Stafford doesn't have his best year and he just retires after this season. And then the Rams are kind of screwed and they're like, crap, we tied up all this money in him. We caved and now look what happened. That would be best case scenario. I understand that in 2025 that it would help you if he's gone. But man, if they ended up with like Sam Darnold, I don't feel great about it. They've also talked about Aaron Rodgers going to the Rams. I'm okay with that. That does not bother me at all because Rodgers is a culture team locker room killer. And I've been a Rodgers fan like most of his career just because his arm talent, just some of the throws he makes is just unbelievable, mind-blowing. But it's pretty evident that like he can come in and destroy a locker room. And so, yes, he's very talented, but man, like, I don't know. As a 49er fan, I'm okay with it. I'm cool with it if Rodgers wants to go to the Rams. Anyway, that's what I think. I think he stays. I think they just figure something out, and he's going to end up staying. But something to watch for sure, because there's teams calling him because it's a quarterback-driven league. You can't win without a quarterback, and he's got at least a year left in the tank. I'll say that. Last thing, Josh Taylor. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of him. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe there's Commander fans that are in the video right now. Welcome. If this is your first time, hit that subscribe button. We're going to talk Josh Taylor, who is he's a Commander's insider who I dug into like what I could find out about him, which I make that sound like I was calling people. I'm not calling anyone, guys. I just going through his X page, listening to like fans interact with him and stuff and whatever. And it sounds like Commander fans trust him. Commander fans, if you're in the comments right now, let me know. Is Josh Taylor a guy you go to for your information? Because it sounds like he's in the know to some degree. He tweeted out today, he said, I strongly believe, I'm paraphrasing, sorry if I mess this up, Josh Taylor. I strongly believe that Deebo Samuel will be a Commander. And I was like, oh, because I knew who he was. I'd kind of been following him a little bit. And so then I'm digging through like his responses, his replies, and people are saying, are they going to release him? Da, da, da. And he said, it feels like it's going to be a trade. And he said and they're saying, why are you saying that? Why is that wishful thinking? And he just said, it feels like it's moving in a positive direction. He's talked about the Deebo thing before, and he's brought up, he said, listen, I've been getting info and calls from people saying that they're talking about Deebo. They've contacted the 49ers, like whatever, that kind of stuff. So great. I'm on the record, like I have felt like Deebo is going to get cut. However, like if a team wants to give up a draft pick for Deebo Samuel, like I am all for it. It's interesting when you look at the fan bases, when there's a player that wants to be traded and you know there's a player on the trade block. It's funny because you usually go like the team that holds the player that wants to be traded, fans of that team drive up the price like crazy. So a few years ago when Deebo wanted a trade before they resolved his contract in 2022, 49er fans were like, first round pick or nothing. And then other fan bases, like the Jets was the rumor, were like, you have no leverage, we'll give you a second or we'll give you a third and that's it because he wants to come here. And like, so both sides, like one side drives up the price, the other side drives down the price. If you go through and look at what 49er fans are saying and what other fans of other teams are saying, it's like the opposite, which is crazy. And it's because 49er fans kind of have a sour taste in their mouth about Deebo a little bit. They shouldn't. I love Deebo. He's brought some great memories to the 2021 season. And I know statistically he hasn't done it over the course of a whole season, but he made huge plays in 2022. He made huge plays in 2023. Yes, he was like hit and miss, but I have a lot of love for Deebo because He made my experience as a 49er fan a lot better. But if you talk to 49er fans, they're saying like, that dude's a bum. Like, it would be lucky to get a 5th round pick for him, like 6th round pick, who cares, just cut him anyway, whatever. And then I go through like the Josh Taylor stuff, and then like, of course, Pittsburgh's talking about it. Like there's other teams that have talked about it too. And I like to scroll through and see what their fans are saying, like what they would give up for Deebo. And a lot of them are like, is a 4th round pick enough? Maybe we could do like a 4th round pick and a conditional, and make it a conditional 3rd if he makes a all pro. Like I've seen multiple fans do that. And then there's always some that are like, no, he's washed up. I don't want him. I'll give him a 7th round pick, whatever. But like, I haven't seen any 49er fans think that you're getting more than a 5th round pick. And then I've seen a bunch of fans of other teams that are like, man, a 4th would probably get it done. Maybe I'd throw in a 3rd or a future 3rd. Just like funny to me that like the value on Deebo is so off. I'll say this about Deebo. I hope we trade him. I'm not a cap guru. I know that if they cut him, it'll be a post-June 1 designation. So they would have cap hits. I know it would save on some of the cap hit. I know that trading him doesn't favor the cap as much, but you get a draft pick out of it. So you're essentially buying a draft pick. I'm in favor of a draft pick. I want a draft pick. They always figure out the cap. The cap always goes up. They always figure it out. Like I'm not worried about that. I'd rather have the draft pick. And I would probably take a 5th round pick for Deebo at this point. They've hit on 5th round picks. This draft probably has a good value of 5th round picks. Like I would rather have a 5th round pick. Here's what I'll say about Deebo. Commander fans, if you were in the video, again, subscribe if you can, comment, let me know how I'm doing. Let me know what you think about Deebo. Here's what you'll get from Deebo if you get Deebo Samuel. And 49er fans, pay attention. I don't think he's completely washed. I think he started the season pretty well. Look back at that Thursday night football game against Seattle. He had that long touchdown catch, outran guys. Like he did some good things. We know in the Miami game when the season was over, like he did some good things in that game too. But what are you going to get if you trade away Deebo Samuel? You're going to get the most pissed off, chip on my shoulder, about to prove that I'm worth it, Deebo Samuel, you could ever imagine. Like he's not going to just suck, guys. 49er fans, he's not going to suck. Commander fans, that should make you excited. Like if you end up with Deebo, you're going to get a very motivated Deebo. I promise you that, because he's heard what everyone's saying. He's heard people say that he's overweight and he's lost it. Like you're going to get the most determined Deebo you've ever seen. Now, Commander fans, you're not going to get 2021 Deebo. You might get a game of 2021 Deebo. You might get a stretch of 2021 Deebo. And I would imagine in the playoffs, you're going to get the best out of Deebo. He will show up for you guys. I know he didn't really show up for us in 2023, though. He had a few plays in that Lions game. I don't remember in the Packers game and in the Super Bowl. No one did anything in the Super Bowl, it felt like, except for Jennings. But he would be a valuable asset to have on your team because you're going to get flashes of it. And you have Terry McLaurin, and I imagine Jaden Daniels would benefit from having a guy like Deebo. So that's kind of what I got. I don't think he's washed. He's definitely not going to be what he was in his best, but for a 5th round pick, that's a swing I'd be willing to take, I think, just knowing the situation. Adam Peters knows him, too. Your guys' GM knows him, knows what he's capable of. So anyway, I think 49er fans, if we get a 5th round pick for Deebo, I think you should be excited. I love draft picks. 5th round picks have been really good to us. What up, George Kittle? Commander fans, if you get Deebo Samuel, you should feel really good about it. As long as you don't give up too much for him, which you won't because Adam Peters knows what he's doing, you should feel good. You should be excited. Temper your expectations. Anyone in your fan base and your circle that is like 2021 Deebo, tell them to cool their jets a little bit because that's probably not what you're getting. But you're going to have enough highlight plays through the year to feel like this trade was worth it, and he's going to make your team better. Now, he's got to stay happy, okay? But he's going to make your team better. I think that. That's what I think. 49er fans, you might disagree with me. I want to know. Everyone let me know what you think. We are on Deebo watch. We are on Stafford watch. We are on what is my wife going to make me do with my hair watch. Tell me what you guys think I should do with my hair. My dream is to have a mullet. I'm not sure. That might have passed me by. The problem with the mullet, guys, the mullet became cool after I got married. Any of you who are married, you know that your wife definitely has some say into how you dress and how you look and how you groom. If I had been in high school, if I'd been in college right now or college 5 years ago when the mullet was really popping, golly, I would have been first one on that train. I love a good mullet. Tried to talk my wife into it. I don't think it's happening. Let me know what you think, though. Okay, let me know. That's all I got. Guys, I'm probably going to do a Giants video tomorrow or Monday. Bryce Eldridge. Moonshot. 450 feet deep center in his second AB of the spring. Call him up, Posey. I've seen enough. Bring him up. Starting first baseman, opening day, bring him up. I saw everything I need. Or DH him. First game of the year. It's all I need. It's all I needed to see. 450 dead center. Let's go. I'm out.